"It's dark in here," Sergio muttered, pulling his flashlight from his belt and switching it on. Tanessa did the same. The beams did little to penetrate the darkness as they stepped through the entrance. Tanessa kept her ears open for the ring or vibration of a mobile phone, but the only things she could hear were her and Sergio's footsteps crunching on the gravel of the path. She had once been lost herself as a small child. When she was 8, her mother had taken Tanessa and her brothers for an evening walk. Tanessa skipped ahead, watching her shadow as it grew bigger and smaller in the lights of the street. She didn't notice her mother stopping to talk to someone, probably a fan. Her mother had been an actress back then, and she was stopped by fans for an autograph or a photo almost daily. The street was very busy when Tanessa realized her mother and brothers were no longer behind her. She froze in place, looking for them, fear filling her heart. She'd been on the verge of crying when a man approached her and asked if everything was all right. She still remembered his smell, sweaty, sour, and unpleasant. One of his teeth was blackened. She'd screamed, stepping back, and burst into tears. Mitchell and Richard were by her side in seconds. They hadn't been far away. They'd all shouted at the embarrassed man, who had probably only wanted to help. Tanessa cried for what felt like hours afterward. It had been the scariest thing that had ever happened to her as a child. Were Gracie and Abigail alone on the street somewhere, crying? If so, why didn't they answer the phone? "They're probably in one of the apartments in the area," Sergio said. "Maybe they went to a party." "Yeah," Tanessa said, but she had a very bad feeling this wasn't the case. It was too late, the girls too young, the fact that they didn't answer their— "Do you hear that?" she said, stopping in her spot. "Hear what?" "Shut up. You asked me— Shut the hell up for a second." They both stood in silence, and she heard it again. A faint tune, far to their right. "Over there," Tanessa said, crossing the frozen ground, her heart beating faster. The beam of her flashlight jumped erratically, searching. Then it landed on a small, inert body. She ran, nearly slipping on an icy patch, finally reaching the body on the ground. Crouching, she gently moved it to expose the face. It was a young girl, with dried blood on her forehead. She was limp, and her skin was pale, almost blue. "Get an ambulance over here," Tanessa shouted at Sergio. She put a hand on the girl's chest, lowered her ear to the girl's mouth. The girl's phone chirped somewhere nearby, making it harder for Tanessa to concentrate on the girl's breathing, but finally she could hear and feel it, a faint, shallow breath. The girl was still alive.